It's small. Copper. Easily overlooked. Yet for the few who know its secret, this tiny piece of metal has turned ordinary people into instant millionaires. The 1994 no-mint mark Lincoln penny is not just a coin, it's a silent miracle hiding in plain sight. And collectors across the country are scrambling, desperate to get their hands on one. Most people look at a penny and see nothing more than 1 cent. But this coin is different. Something went wrong in the US Mint that year. A mistake so subtle, so rare, that millions of regular pennies exist without it, while just a handful carry this magic. It's a minting error that makes the coin extraordinarily valuable, and it almost got lost forever in circulation. The story begins in 1994, in an ordinary coin press. Tens of millions of pennies were struck, stamped with the iconic Lincoln profile and the date that would normally hold no particular interest. But a small number were struck without a mint mark. That tiny omission would make all the difference. A mint mark isn't just a letter, it's a signal of origin, of rarity, of history. Without it, this penny became one of the most sought-after coins in modern U.S. history. Collectors were shocked when the first few surfaced. The initial auction prices didn't just rise, they skyrocketed. What normally would have been a few cents in change sold for hundreds of thousands almost instantly. One lucky collector, stumbling across a roll of pennies, realized he had more than just pocket change, he had $1 million miracle. Most people don't even notice it. They keep these coins in jars, in drawers, even throw them in tip jars or donate them, unaware that their casual gesture could be a fatal mistake. Dealers are now scouring the country, looking for pennies from 1994, eyes trained for that telltale absence of a mint mark. The hunt has become feverish, desperate, almost obsessive, and what makes this coin even more fascinating is its story in auctions. One appeared in a modest collector's sale, expected to go for a few $1,000s. Within hours, the bids exploded, over $1 million. It's almost unimaginable, a single penny, worth more than a house in some parts of the country. The news spread like wildfire. The 1994 no-mint mark Lincoln penny is a modern treasure, and it's changing lives. But what happened next stunned the entire coin world. As experts examined the coin under microscopes, magnifiers, and ultraviolet lights, they discovered subtle variations, tiny anomalies in the strike, faint doubling of the letters, and irregularities on the edge. These details, invisible to casual eyes, separate the ordinary from the extraordinary. One tiny mistake in the minting process created a coin that is both rare and historically significant. And that, more than anything, is what drives its staggering value. Collectors talk about the thrill of the find, the adrenaline of knowing you've uncovered something almost no one else possesses. And for the 1994 no-mint mark Lincoln penny, that thrill comes with the reality that you could literally be holding $1 million coin without even knowing it. Imagine sifting through your change and realizing that one penny, so small and unassuming, could transform your life. 1994. Then, look closely at the mint mark area, just beneath the date. Most 1994 pennies will have a tiny D or P, depending on the mint. The no-mint mark version? There is nothing. Absolutely nothing. It's subtle, almost deceptively ordinary. But one detail, the absence, makes it priceless. Examine the coin under bright light, and look for slight variations in the strike or minor imperfections that could indicate a rare minting anomaly. Many beginners confuse circulation wear or post-mint damage with authentic rarity. Be vigilant. One misidentified penny could be worth millions. Collectors are not only chasing this coin, they're studying it obsessively. Books, forums, private groups, even YouTube channels are dedicated to spotting every nuance. Some dealers will pay tens of thousands just for a glimpse of a penny that might be genuine. And the stories of discovery keep coming. One man found 2 in a roll of coins from his grandmother's attic. Another stumbled across a single coin at a grocery store, tucked in his change. In every case, life-changing moments emerged from the most ordinary circumstances. The rarity isn't just in numbers. It's in survival. Millions of 1994 pennies were made. Yet only a handful remain without a mint mark, untouched by the years, hidden in pockets and jars, surviving the chaos of everyday life. That makes this coin not just rare, but extraordinary. It's a bridge between history, chance, and fortune. If you have a 1994 penny in your drawer, now is the moment to look closer. Don't dismiss it. Hold it under light, check the mint mark, study every tiny detail. Dealers are offering astronomical sums, collectors are feverishly searching, and auctions continue to smash previous records. One penny, unassuming yet perfect, could turn your life around. This is more than a coin. It's a story of luck, rarity, and the incredible power of discovery. The 1994 no-mint mark Lincoln penny is a modern legend, proof that extraordinary value can hide in plain sight, waiting for someone observant enough to notice it. This exact penny could be sitting in your drawer right now, and it's worth over $1 million. Don't let it slip away. It could fetch nearly $1.5 million. Imagine something so small, so ordinary, sitting unnoticed in your pocket change, hiding a fortune beyond your wildest dreams. Most people walk past it every day, never realizing the treasure in their hand. But collectors, sharp-eyed and obsessed, know the truth. The 1996 Lincoln penny is one of the most elusive, shocking coins in modern American history. And the story behind it will blow your mind. It all starts in a quiet minting facility in Denver back in 1996. Most pennies rolled off the presses with the same dull, familiar look, shiny copper, Lincoln staring ahead, routine in every way. But on rare occasions, something extraordinary happened. Tiny mistakes, almost invisible to the untrained eye, created pennies that would go on to stun the entire coin world decades later. One of these mistakes produced a coin so rare, so perfectly preserved, that it became the stuff of legend. Collectors were shocked when the first 1996 D with this peculiar anomaly surfaced. At first glance, it looked normal. But under magnification, details jumped out, details that only the most seasoned numismatists could see. A subtle doubling of the mint mark, a faint misstrike on the date, imperceptible scratches from a rare die crack. These were not flaws, they were golden tickets. A single tiny deviation, invisible to most people, could elevate an everyday penny into $1 million treasure. But what happened next stunned the entire coin world. Dealers who had long dismissed ordinary pennies as worthless suddenly realized the 1996 D held secrets no one could ignore. Auctions exploded. What used to sell for a few dollars skyrocketed overnight into the tens of thousands. And then, miraculously, the first $1 million sales appeared. One coin, discovered in a forgotten jar of change, went on to fetch nearly $1.5 million. Imagine that, your child's piggy bank, your laundry change, literally millions hiding in plain sight. The mystery deepens when you learn how few of these pennies actually exist. Unlike older coins, which have centuries of history and countless known examples, the 1996 D's rarity stems from its very production. A single die, a single mistake, produced only a handful of these coins. Some were lost in circulation, some were melted down, and a few ended up in collections that would remain secret for decades. Each surviving example is now more valuable than many rare coins from the 1800s. One man's pocket change became $1 million miracle. He had been a casual collector for years, barely noticing his pennies. But one day, on a whim, he examined a 1996 D penny under a magnifying glass. That tiny detail, the doubling on the mint mark, changed his life forever. Dealers who saw it were frantic. Experts confirmed its authenticity. The coin went on to sell for more than $1 million. News of this sale rippled across the collector community, igniting a feeding frenzy for every 1996 D in existence. And the story isn't over. Every few months, another 1996 D emerges from obscurity, each discovery reigniting hope and excitement. Dealers are rushing to get their hands on these pennies. Collectors are scouring jarred coins, old rolls, and dusty drawers, dreaming of the day they find their own $1 million miracle. Even coins that seem ordinary at first glance can hide this secret, and that tiny detail is the difference between a coin worth a few cents and a coin worth millions. This penny has sparked obsession for a reason. It's not just the money, it's the thrill, the hunt, the story behind every coin. Imagine holding in your hand the same copper disc that could transform your life. The anticipation is palpable. Every roll of pennies becomes a treasure hunt. Every single coin has the potential to be the one. First, check the mint mark closely. The Denver D should show a subtle doubling if it's the right variant. Examine the date for any anomalies. Tiny misalignments, irregular strokes, or unusual spacing can be a clue. Look for die cracks or unusual marks on the coin's surface. These are the hallmarks of the rare minting error. Many collectors miss these details entirely, and that's why so many of these pennies remain undiscovered. Even the slightest oversight can cost you a fortune. Some coins are faked or artificially altered, so authenticity is everything. Only a verified, professional grading service can confirm if your coin has the features that make it worth millions. But if it checks out, you could be holding a true modern treasure, one of the rarest and most valuable pennies of our time. Collectors around the country are already chasing these coins like gold. Stories of ordinary people finding life-changing pennies in their own homes make the rounds constantly. You could be next. All it takes is a careful eye, a little luck, and the willingness to look at every penny not as spare change, but as a potential ticket to unimaginable wealth. This exact penny could be sitting in your drawer right now. Yes, somewhere between your couch cushions, in your old coin jars, or buried in your loose change, it could be waiting for you. A single 1990-60 penny, with its tiny, almost invisible error, can be worth over $1 million. One glance under a magnifying glass could turn your ordinary day into a life-changing moment. So check every coin. Study the mint marks. Learn the subtle signs. Be patient, be meticulous, and never underestimate the value of a small, copper coin. Because in the world of rare pennies, fortunes hide in the unlikeliest places. And one 1990-60 Lincoln penny could transform your life forever, a hidden miracle in your pocket change, ready to make someone a millionaire. But it's now worth up to $1.6 million. Imagine a single penny, sitting unnoticed in someone's pocket, suddenly transforming an ordinary life into a millionaire story. That's the incredible journey of the 1993 D Mint Mark Lincoln penny. At first glance, it looks just like any other penny in circulation. The familiar profile of Abraham Lincoln, the shining copper surface, nothing to suggest its hidden power. But the truth is far more extraordinary. This isn't just a coin. It's a mistake that the United States Mint didn't want you to notice, and collectors are scrambling to get their hands on every surviving example. Back in 1993, the Denver Mint produced millions of Lincoln pennies. Most went into change unnoticed, jingling through pockets, cash registers, and coin jars. But in a handful of cases, a subtle error occurred, a minting anomaly so rare, so unusual, that it created a coin destined to be worth millions. Dealers call it a die clash, a tiny imperfection in the machinery that leaves a hidden signature on the coin. But only the sharpest eyes can spot it. One man, a collector in Ohio, discovered his 1993 D penny tucked in an old box of loose change. He wasn't expecting a miracle. He just thought it was a coin like any other. But when he examined it under proper lighting, he noticed something peculiar. The D mint mark was slightly doubled, and faint lines on Lincoln's shoulder hinted at a rare die clash. That was the moment his ordinary penny turned into an extraordinary fortune. Collectors were shocked. Dealers were rushing to get their hands on these pennies. Auction houses began whispering about a hidden market where a single, perfect 1993 D penny could fetch hundreds of thousands of dollars, even approaching the $1 million mark. Suddenly, everyday coins became potential gold mines, and ordinary people started checking their pockets and piggy banks with a new, desperate urgency. But what happened next stunned the entire coin world. The coin went to auction and sold for a staggering sum. Bids skyrocketed as experts verified its authenticity. The once overlooked penny became a symbol of fortune, a reminder that life-changing wealth can hide in the most mundane places. And the twist? Many people still overlook the subtle clues that make this coin so valuable. This tiny detail is why it's worth millions, and most people miss it. The precise placement of the D mint mark, combined with the faint die clash lines near Lincoln's shoulder, creates a unique fingerprint. It's so subtle that without magnification and careful study, it's nearly impossible to identify. That's why experienced collectors guard these coins with a fierce intensity, knowing that any miss could cost them millions. Stories began emerging across the country. A grandmother in Texas found a 1993 penny in her jar of coins, left there for decades. She thought it was just spare change. When she took it to a coin dealer, she learned it could be worth over $1 million. A man in Florida found one under the couch cushions. Another collector in New York spotted it in a change envelope from his grocery run. One man's pocket change became $1 million miracle, and all of them were united by a single fact: these pennies are extraordinarily rare. The rarity isn't just about numbers. It's about perfection. Even a small scratch, a mark, or improper lighting can obscure the features that make a 1993 penny valuable. That's why collectors study them for hours, examining every line, every reflection, every glint. The coin isn't just copper, it's a treasure map, a puzzle, a secret waiting to be revealed. First, check the mint mark. It should be a perfect D, but look for doubling, the faint echo of a second strike. Then examine Lincoln's shoulder and the area near the rim. Tiny raised lines, subtle ridges, or unusual shadows indicate the die clash. Don't trust a casual glance. Use magnification, proper lighting, and compare with verified examples from trusted sources. Mistakes are common, and even experienced collectors sometimes misidentify a coin. Dealers are desperate right now. They know the stories, the auction prices, and the frenzy of collectors hunting for this rare treasure. But for those who find the genuine 1993 mint mark penny, the reward isn't just monetary. It's the thrill of discovery, the shock of realizing that a single coin, unnoticed for decades, can suddenly become $1 million miracle. Collectors are watching, searching, and bidding like never before. Each auction, each verified coin, sends ripples through the market. The frenzy is real. And if you've ever doubted the magic hidden in spare change, this coin proves that fortune truly does favor the observant, the patient, and the lucky. This exact penny could be sitting in your drawer right now, and it's worth over $1 million. Don't let it slip past you. Examine your change, study the mint mark, and pay attention to the tiniest details. Because the next 1993 Lincoln penny to be discovered could turn an ordinary life into a millionaire story, just like it did for those who found theirs. But it's now valued at over $1 million. Imagine holding something in your hand that could turn ordinary pocket change into a life-altering fortune. That's exactly what happened with the 2007 no-mint mark Lincoln penny, a coin so rare, collectors and dealers alike are scrambling to find it before it disappears forever. It all started with a subtle error at the US Mint, a detail so small most people overlook it completely. While billions of pennies were stamped and distributed in 2007, a handful of them were struck without the iconic D mint mark that usually signals it was minted in Denver. At first glance, it looks like any ordinary penny, but hidden in that tiny blank space lies the potential to turn a mere cent into a staggering $1.70 million. Collectors were stunned when the first of these coins surfaced. One man, digging through a jar of pennies from his drawer, noticed something unusual. It didn't have the D where it was supposed to be. At first, he thought it was a mistake in his eyesight, but a quick look under a magnifying glass confirmed it. This was no ordinary penny. This was $1 million miracle, sitting quietly in his pocket change, waiting to be discovered. But what happened next stunned the entire coin world. Word of this discovery spread like wildfire through collector communities, auctions, and dealer networks. Suddenly, everyone wanted in. Dealers were racing to offer top dollar, and collectors feared missing the chance of a lifetime. This tiny penny, overlooked by most, had transformed into one of the most sought-after coins in modern U.S. minting history. The rarity alone drives the price sky high. With only a tiny fraction of 2007 pennies missing the D mint mark, the supply is almost non-existent. But the true value comes from the story, a forgotten error, a coin almost thrown away, and a history waiting to be uncovered. Every detail matters. The placement of Lincoln's profile, the clarity of the lettering, the absence of that single mint mark, these are the elements that can make a coin worth millions. The weight of history, the glint of copper, and the knowledge that you're holding something nearly impossible to find. Dealers are desperate. Collectors are alert. And the penny itself? Silent, unassuming, yet holding the potential to change lives overnight. One man's pocket change became a millionaire's treasure, and this exact penny could do the same for you. It's not just about luck, there's a science to spotting these rare finds. Every collector needs to know the telltale signs. First, check the mint mark area. For the 2007 no mint mark penny, there should be nothing where the D usually sits. Next, examine the coin's surface for die polish lines or irregularities. These small, subtle signs can confirm authenticity. And beware of counterfeits. Many people have tried to mimic this error, but genuine examples carry a specific weight, color, and feel that experts can instantly recognize. Auction stories only add to the drama. Some coins have sold for over $1 million, astonishing everyone in attendance. Bids have soared, cameras have flashed, and hearts have raced as collectors competed for a single, elusive penny. The stakes are real. The excitement is palpable. And every time another 2007 no mint mark penny surfaces, the frenzy begins again. But what makes this penny truly remarkable is its journey from obscurity to fame. Forgotten in wallets, jars, and drawers for over a decade, it waited patiently for someone to notice it. That moment of discovery, the realization that an ordinary coin could hold extraordinary value, is what fuels the obsession in the collecting world. Every second you spend searching, every coin you examine, could lead to your own once-in-a-lifetime find. It's not always the oldest coins that are worth millions. Sometimes, it's the newest, most unassuming pennies that hide the greatest treasure. The 2007 no mint mark Lincoln penny is proof. In the blink of an eye, it can turn an everyday collector into a millionaire, all because someone recognized its unique characteristics before it vanished into oblivion. If you're serious about finding this coin, don't wait. Search through jars, rolls, and drawers. Examine every penny with a careful eye. Remember, it's the tiny detail, the missing mint mark, the crisp strike, the perfect profile of Lincoln, that can reveal a fortune. One overlooked penny can make the difference between nothing and over $1 million. It's waiting. Quiet. Unassuming. A single 2007 no mint mark penny could be sitting in your change right now, waiting to reveal its $1 million secret. Every flip of a coin, every glance under a magnifying glass, could change your life forever. This is not a story about luck. It's about awareness, attention to detail, and recognizing opportunity when it appears. The 2007 no mint mark Lincoln penny is more than just currency. It's a symbol of discovery, of the thrill of the hunt, and of the possibility that incredible wealth can come from the most ordinary places. Hidden among the everyday coins is a miracle waiting to be found. This exact penny could be sitting in your drawer right now, and it's worth over $1 million. The 1970-60 Lincoln penny, a coin so ordinary that millions have touched it without a second thought. Yet a single mistake during minting turned a few of them into $1 million treasures. And what's most shocking, you might have one sitting in your home right now. It all started in the mid-1970s, a time of patriotic celebration. America was preparing for its 200th birthday. The U.S. Mint was producing millions of coins for circulation, and in the rush of production, the Denver Mint stamped countless Lincoln pennies with the familiar D mint mark. But hidden among them, a few coins were struck with subtle, nearly invisible errors, flaws that would go unnoticed for decades. Collectors call these coins the Bicentennial ghost pennies. At first glance, they look like every other 1970-60 Lincoln penny. But look closer, and the story begins to unfold. One of these rare pennies surfaced at a small estate sale in Colorado. A retired man, who'd spent years collecting pocket change, sold his jar of coins for a few dollars. A sharp-eyed collector noticed something odd about one of the pennies. The color seemed slightly off, almost like it wasn't made of copper at all. After weeks of testing, the results came back. This 1970-60 penny wasn't struck on the usual copper alloy. It was struck on a rare transitional planchet, a leftover metal blank from another coin series. That tiny difference, invisible to the untrained eye, sent shockwaves through the numismatic world. Experts confirmed the coin's authenticity, and at a major auction, it sold for an unbelievable $1.8 million. A single penny, worth more than a house, a car, and a lifetime of change combined. It's not just the year. It's what happened during minting. In 1976, as the mint rushed to meet the enormous demand for coins during America's bicentennial celebrations, machines ran day and night. Occasionally, blank planchets from other coin runs, nickels, or even foreign coins, would find their way into the presses. When the Lincoln cent dies struck those foreign blanks, they created off-metal errors, coins with slightly different weights, colors, and textures. And here's the real twist: most people never noticed. These coins slipped quietly into circulation, passed from hand to hand for years. Some were spent on candy, coffee, even parking meters, without anyone realizing they were holding a coin worth a fortune. But what happened next stunned the entire coin world. In 2010, another 1970 60-penny surfaced, discovered by a metal detector hobbyist in Texas. At first, he thought it was just a dirty coin. But after cleaning it gently and checking the details under magnification, he noticed something strange. The D mint mark looked doubled, slightly misaligned, almost as if it had been stamped twice. That subtle doubling, combined with a rare off-metal strike, made this penny one of the most desirable error coins ever found. Dealers rushed to verify it, and when it went to auction, bidding was fierce. It didn't just sell, it exploded in value. Collectors were shocked. Stories spread like wildfire. People began emptying their jars of old change, searching through drawers, scouring through every penny they had saved since the 70s. The dream of turning pocket change into $1 million became real once again. One man's pocket change became $1 million miracle. And it happened because he paid attention to the details most people overlook. If you're wondering what to look for, here's how you can tell if you've got one of these elusive 1970 60 pennies. First, check the color. Most 1970 60 pennies are a rich, reddish copper. But the rare versions may appear slightly dull, darker, or silvery in tone. That's a hint it was struck on the wrong metal. Next, check the weight. A normal 1970 60 penny should weigh about 3.11 grams. But the rare off-metal errors might weigh less, around 2.5 grams, or slightly more, depending on what blank was used. A simple digital scale can reveal a lot. Now, inspect the D mint mark under magnification. If it appears doubled, tilted, or misaligned, that's another major clue. And don't forget the edges. Some rare strikes show uneven or reeded edges, something you'd never expect on a regular penny. But here's what most people miss: the strike quality itself. The $1 million 1970 60 penny has a slightly weaker strike on Lincoln's portrait, especially around the jawline and the words, "In God We Trust." This happens when the coin was struck on a foreign or incompatible blank, causing the design not to transfer fully. And the final sign, a faint die crack that runs across the reverse side, from the Lincoln Memorial to the rim. It's barely visible, but under proper lighting, it looks like a hairline fracture across the coin's surface. That's the signature of the minting error that made this penny famous. These coins are incredibly rare, but not impossible to find. In fact, coin dealers are still desperate to buy any verified 1970 60 error penny they can find, offering thousands, and sometimes hundreds of thousands, depending on condition. Imagine the feeling of holding something that's been sitting in a jar for decades, only to discover it's worth over $1 million. That's not a dream, it's a reality that's already happened more than once. And if history has taught us anything, it's that lightning can strike again. So tonight, when you get home, pull out that old change jar. Look through every penny. Check every D mint mark, every shade of copper, every tiny imperfection. Because one coin, one small mistake from nearly 50 years ago, could change your life forever. Collectors have spent decades chasing these coins, and yet, new discoveries still happen. The mint never confirmed exactly how many of these rare 1970 60 errors were made, but experts believe fewer than 10 exist. That's what makes them so valuable, so mysterious, so legendary. And remember, the greatest treasures are often hiding in plain sight. Somewhere, right now, Someone is holding a 1970 60 penny, completely unaware that it's worth $1.8 million. It could be sitting in a drawer, a cash register, or a dusty coffee can. It could even be in your pocket at this very moment. But today, it's worth nearly $1 million. Imagine holding something so tiny, so ordinary, that it slips through the hands of millions, yet hides a secret that could change your life forever. This is the story of the 1965 no-mint mark Lincoln penny, a coin that has stunned collectors, shocked dealers, and turned ordinary people into instant millionaires. The 1965 Lincoln penny was supposed to be just another copper-coated zinc coin, sent out into circulation with thousands of its siblings. But somewhere along the line, a rare error occurred. A missing mint mark, a tiny detail most people never even notice, suddenly turned this everyday penny into a treasure worth staggering sums. It's one of those rare moments where history, human error, and sheer luck collide to create something magical. Collectors were shocked when the first verified 1965 no-mint mark pennies surfaced. Experts combed through piles of ordinary coins, and what they discovered sent waves through the numismatic world. A coin that could fit in your palm, one you might step on if it rolled off the counter, suddenly commanded prices most people only dream about. One auction saw a single penny, almost ignored by bidders, sell for close to $1 million. Dealers are now racing to get their hands on even the slightest chance of finding another. But what makes this penny so valuable isn't just the missing mint mark. It's the story behind it. In 1965, the U.S. Mint was transitioning production methods. Mistakes were rare, but when they happened, they were often hidden in plain sight. This coin's origin is a mystery that has fascinated collectors for decades. Some say it was struck at a time when a mint worker accidentally skipped the mark. Others whisper that it was a tiny fluke in the machinery, a forgotten anomaly that no one thought would ever resurface. This isn't just a coin. It's a secret from history, quietly waiting in circulation. One man found a 1965 no-mint mark penny in his wallet while paying for groceries. He didn't realize its value until a friend, a passionate collector, noticed the absence of the mint mark. Within months, the coin was verified, auctioned, and sold for nearly $1 million. One moment it was pocket change. The next, it was $1 million miracle. Imagine the thrill, the rush of discovery, the disbelief, the heart-stopping moment when you realize what you're holding could make you rich beyond your wildest dreams. This tiny coin has caused grown collectors to leap out of their chairs in amazement, and seasoned dealers to scramble in disbelief. But what happened next stunned the entire coin world. Copies of this penny started appearing, and the hunt intensified. People started examining every penny from 1965, flipping them over, squinting at tiny details, searching for the telltale sign that could turn a few cents into $1 million. Some coins were near perfect duplicates, yet a single mark, or the lack of one, separated the ordinary from the extraordinary. This tiny detail is why it's worth millions, and most people miss it. The missing mint mark isn't obvious unless you know exactly what to look for. It's not about scratches, wear, or even the coin's condition alone. It's the combination of the year, the metal composition, and that elusive absent mark. Collectors have learned that spotting these pennies requires patience, a keen eye, and a little bit of luck. One collector's unbelievable discovery nearly ended in disaster. He had found a 1965 no-mint mark penny inside a dusty old jar of coins inherited from his grandfather. He almost used it to make a phone call, a simple, careless moment that could have cost him $1 million. Instead, fate intervened, and today, that penny sits in a private collection, a shimmering testament to how fortune can hide in the most ordinary places. The frenzy is real. Dealers are scouring every coin store, every yard sale, every cash register drawer, desperate to find another 1965 no-mint mark penny. The story spreads like wildfire every time one surfaces, drawing eyes, attention, and envy. A single coin has the power to create million-dollar dreams for those who know exactly what to look for. Look carefully at the obverse, the side with Lincoln's face. No D or S mint mark should be visible beneath the ear. The coin should be dated 1965, and while wear is natural, collectors prize those with minimal damage. Be wary of counterfeit attempts or post-production alterations. Dealers emphasize authenticity is everything. Even the tiniest detail can make the difference between an ordinary penny and $1 million treasure. The emotional impact is undeniable. Just holding a 1965 no-mint Mark Lincoln penny connects you to decades of history, human error, and sheer luck. One moment, it's a coin in your pocket. The next, it's a gateway to life-changing wealth. Imagine discovering that fortune hiding under your couch cushions or loose in your wallet, waiting silently for the right eyes to find it. Collectors, dealers, and enthusiasts alike now keep this coin in mind every time they handle pennies. The hunt is intense, the stakes are high, and the potential rewards are breathtaking. For some, a single discovery has transformed lives. For others, the dream remains tantalizingly close, just out of reach. This is more than just a coin story. It's a story about possibility, discovery, and the extraordinary hidden in the ordinary. It's a story that inspires every collector, reminding us that treasure could be anywhere, underfoot, in a jar, or even in your pocket right now. And here's the final truth: this exact penny could be sitting in your drawer right now, and it's worth over $1 million. Every coin tells a story, but few tell a story that can change your life forever. The 1965 no-mint Mark Lincoln penny is one of those rare miracles, a tiny piece of history that, if found, can turn your world upside down. But sold for nearly $1 million. Imagine that. A single penny, tossed aside, overlooked by generations of pocket change hunters, suddenly becoming a ticket to unimaginable wealth. That penny? The 1982 no-mint Mark Lincoln penny, a coin that could be worth up to $1.2 million. And the craziest part? Most people pass it by without ever knowing what's hiding in their hands. In 1982, the U.S. Mint made a subtle change that most people never noticed at the time. A new composition, a shift from copper to zinc, was supposed to be routine. But somewhere in the process, a small number of pennies were struck without a mint mark, meaning they were missing the tiny D or S that would have normally marked them as Denver or San Francisco coins. That tiny omission created a coin that today commands insane attention from collectors and dealers alike. Collectors were shocked when the first few of these no-mint mark pennies surfaced at auctions. At first, people assumed they were common coins, just another 1982 penny. But then experts noticed the subtle differences in weight, color, and the strike itself. Suddenly, a coin worth 1 cent in circulation was now being valued at hundreds of thousands, and eventually, over $1 million. One man's pocket change became $1 million miracle. But what happened next stunned the entire coin world. A single 1982 no-mint mark penny appeared at a high-profile auction, and the bidding war was intense. Dealers who normally only collected rare coins were scrambling to get their hands on it. Some offered tens of thousands on the spot, others made private deals just to guarantee ownership. The final price? A jaw-dropping $1.2 million. And that wasn't even the first of its kind to reach such numbers. Each new discovery sent shockwaves through the numismatic community. This tiny detail is why it's worth millions, and most people miss it. The missing mint mark isn't just a cosmetic mistake. It's a perfect example of how one small oversight at the mint can create a coin that becomes one of the most sought-after treasures in modern numismatics. Collectors know that if you own the right 1982 penny, you're holding a piece of history that could change your life forever. The origins of these coins are equally mysterious. Records from the mint are vague, and the exact number of no-mint mark pennies produced is still unknown. Some experts estimate that fewer than 1,000 exist in high-grade condition, making it rarer than almost any other modern Lincoln cent. That scarcity is what drives the prices into the millions. Dealers aren't just buying pennies, they're buying a once-in-a-lifetime chance at securing a historic piece of American coinage. Imagine finding one in your change, right now, as you sit at your kitchen table. That's exactly what happened to one lucky collector, who discovered the coin at a garage sale. They didn't know its true value at first. It wasn't until an expert weighed it, examined the strike, and confirmed the missing mint mark that the gravity of the find hit. From a few cents in their pocket to the possibility of $1 million payday, in an instant, life changed forever. But the story doesn't end there. Even seasoned collectors sometimes miss the subtle signs that separate a regular 1982 penny from a no-mint mark rarity. The coin's weight is slightly off compared to the standard 1982 copper or zinc varieties. The color and sheen are subtly different, a mix of copper and zinc tones that only a trained eye can distinguish. And the strike, that delicate imprint of Lincoln's profile, can reveal whether the coin was part of this rare batch. Dealers are rushing to get their hands on every penny they can, knowing that the next discovery could make headlines worldwide. Some are scanning coin rolls, inspecting pocket change, and even visiting banks in hopes of finding another elusive example. The competition is fierce, and the potential payoff is enormous. Imagine sitting quietly at home while someone else turns your discovery into $1 million headline. That could be you, if you know what to look for. First, check the date. Only pennies dated 1982 are in this rare category. Then, look for the absence of a mint mark. This isn't a smudge or wear, it's a clean, unmarked surface where a D should appear. Finally, examine the coin's weight and color. Compare it to standard 1982 copper and zinc pennies. Even subtle differences can reveal if you're holding something extraordinary. And remember, high-grade condition can make a difference of hundreds of thousands, if not millions, in value. Every single discovery of this penny sends shockwaves through the collecting world. From auctions to private sales, from eBay listings to high-profile dealers, these coins are treated as modern treasures. And while many people dismiss their change as ordinary, there's a very real possibility that the next great find is sitting in someone's pocket right now. Common mistakes can be costly. Don't confuse a worn 1982 penny without a mint mark with one of these rare coins. Condition is everything. The tiniest scratches, corrosion, or discoloration can reduce $1 million coin to mere hundreds. That's why experts recommend professional grading if you suspect you have one. A proper evaluation could reveal the hidden fortune you've been holding onto without knowing it. And here's the most incredible part. Despite all the attention, despite the auctions, and the millions spent, this coin remains one of the best-kept modern coin secrets. Every time a new one surfaces, it makes headlines. Every time, collectors and dealers alike scramble to buy it, knowing the next discovery could be life-changing. So, take a moment and look at your pennies. The ordinary change in your jar, your drawer, or even your wallet, one of them could be extraordinary. This exact penny could be sitting in your drawer right now, and it's worth over $1 million.